Earthrealm belonged to Шиннок. It became the staging area from which he would finish his war on the Elder Gods, which began eons ago. The Elder Gods had lied to the denizens of the realms. They were not individual beings, but merely parts of a greater collective known as the One Being. Шиннok would merge the realms and awaken him. Whole once more, the One Being devoured the Elder Gods. Шиннok watched with satisfaction. This reality had finally come to an end. Kano had always been a survivor, but even he would one day succumb to fate. His ideals of ruthless terror would die with him, unless he could pass on his methods to a new generation. Combat, weapons, high-tech sabotage, torture, all would be part of the curriculum. But before his students could learn his techniques, Kano would beat the weakness out of them. They would understand, or die trying. Kano's first pupil? His own son. Class was now in session. Johnny Cage's life had turned out to be stranger than any science fiction film, but he knew the final scene was approaching. With Raiden's direction, Johnny was able to sail to Shang Tsung's abandoned island fortress, where his adventure had begun, to contemplate his future. Amid the rubble, Johnny found an ancient tome. Its pages revealed that Shang Tsung had unraveled the secret to Edenian long life. Johnny Cage's retirement would have to wait. Nearly 150 years ago, Erron Black had been hired by Shang Tsung to assassinate an Earthrealm warrior. In return, Shang had slowed Black's aging process. He could therefore afford to be patient. If an employer wanted someone dead, they would be in time. A team of young Earthrealm warriors had caused Erron Black's current employer, Коталь, much inconvenience. With the patience of a viper, Black eliminated them all. With Шиннok defeated, Liu Kang explored the Nether Realm, a world that, without Shinnok's controlling power, had descended into chaos. Liu Kang was no sorcerer or elder god, but his fighting skill was more than enough to beat Netherrealm's demons into submission. Liu Kang realized that Netherrealm was his for the taking, and that ruling appealed to him. He would assume Shinnok's throne and ponder the conquering of other realms. Alone once more, Yermak searched the labyrinthine corridors of Shao Kahn's old fortress, searching for the source of a faint voice calling to him. Suddenly, a wisp of dust brushed his chest, wrenching free one of his many souls. The dust took the form of a man who began to consume soul after soul. As the weakened Yermak stared helplessly, he recognized the mysterious figure. The sorcerer Shang Tsung, returned from death. Коталь returned to Outworld determined to rebuild his forces. But Reyden defeated him in a surprise attack and claimed dominion over Outworld. Desperate, the Emperor called upon the Elder Gods to aid in preserving his sovereignty. They granted his request, invoking the most sacred of contests. Now, once every decade, Коталь must enlist his greatest defenders to face Raiden's challengers in mortal combat. After Shinnok's defeat, Reptile was ordered to Earthrealm by Khan to assess the damage. Such intel could prove useful in future conflicts. Stumbling upon a collapsed cavern, exposed during the crisis, Reptile was shocked to see raptors emerging from within. Unlike the rest of his race, these raptors had never left Earthrealm for the doomed realm of Zaterra, and thus had remained safe and hidden. Alone no more, Reptile vowed to remain with his rediscovered people and reclaim their Earthrealm homeland. For many years, Fera and Tor were a symbiotic pair, as is natural with their species. But that bond was broken when Fera came of age and began the Great Transformation. Fera Tor returned to the Tarkatan Wastes, where Fera began her metamorphosis. The process took an agonizing 3 outworld years, during which time Tor withered and died. Now a brute, Fera will be chosen by a rider. A new symbiotic pairing will be forged, and new battles will be won. DiVora's ultimate plan was not to destroy Шиннок, but to enslave him. She implanted larvae, her young, in his body to gestate. Having consumed the godlike power of their immortal host, DiVora's offspring were unlike any Chitin ever born. As they matured, they spread like locusts throughout the realms. Her army of Chitin super drones brought glory to DiVora, their beloved queen, and destruction to all. After millennia of fending off Earthrealm's enemies, Reyden began to wonder if defense was the best path to peace. In a change of tactics, Reyden and the Shirai Ryu attacked Khan's armies before they could rebuild. They decimated the Emperor's forces, leaving Outworld at their mercy. The victorious Reyden claimed dominion over Outworld. The first of many threats to Earthrealm had been removed. Quan Chi had long been a servant of Шиннок. His role in freeing him from imprisonment had not gone unnoticed by the Elder Gods. Шиннok was no longer a threat, but Quan Chi's actions had given rise to a new power. After much deliberation, the Elder Gods contrived a plan to rebalance this power before it grew further. Free will was burned from Quan Chi's soul and replaced with a single directive. He must kill Reyden. The Shokan had become outcasts for refusing to aid either side in the Outworld civil war. But with the conflict over, Prince Goро decided to re-enter the political landscape. Khan's armies were weak from years of battle. Melina's rebels were scattered. It was an easy matter for the Shokan to seize control. The newly crowned Emperor Goro had his rivals exterminated. No Aztec, Chitin, Edenian, or Tarkatan would usurp his throne.